Hey guys, this is Alex here, and in today's video, we are going to be going over the top 10 places to invest in a rental property in 2020. Now, I made a similar video about this last summer, where I went over the top 8 places to buy a rental property in 2019, which will be linked up in the corner, but I figured I should probably make the 2020 version of this video a little bit earlier in the year. For this year's list, I also went with a different source to determine the top 10 list. Last year I used Real Wealth Network's list for the video, and this year I decided to do a little bit more digging and research, and I found that the Motley Fool's list, which is a financial and investing advice and news company, I found their list to be a little bit more thorough, and they used a few more criteria points, so it looks at more than just things like cash flow and appreciation. Also, Real Wealth Network's list for 2020 was practically identical to their top 10 list of cities to invest in for 2019, and I wanted to throw in some new cities and give you guys some new places, just kind of as food for thought when you're looking at places to invest in, or maybe perhaps you just like studying these areas like I do and kind of studying the economic growth in certain areas. So that was really the main reason. I just wanted to throw that out there so you guys know that. I mean, compiling a list like this is really a matter of opinion and what factors you are calculating to determine the best markets. By no means is this a perfect list, and you may have reasons why another area or another part of the country should be on this list, so take this video for what it is, which is entertainment and education on 10 very, very hot real estate markets in 2020. So the factors that the Motley Fool used to determine these markets were overall housing affordability, wage growth, unemployment rate, population growth, increase in your property value year over year, and rental yield, which is essentially home prices in comparison to rental rates. You'll see a few of the same places on this list from last year, but most of the cities are areas that I've not talked about before, and I think you'll find it very interesting and perhaps spark some ideas in your mind after seeing some of these markets. So without further ado, let's just get into it. Number 10, Dallas, Texas. Dallas is one of 2 Texas cities on the list this year, and I'm not surprised at all that it made the cut. The Dallas-Fort Worth area is home to more than 7.5 million people and has one of the most diversified and dynamic economies in the country. Its leading industries include finance, professional services, and construction. Also being home to several professional sports teams, various colleges and universities, and one of the busiest airports in the world as well, counties surrounding Dallas have some of the highest rental returns you will find. The median home price currently sits right above $206,000. The property value growth last year was almost 5%. Wage growth is sitting right at about 4%. The median rental price is sitting right above $1,600 per month. The unemployment rate is at 3.1%, and the rental yield, if you factor in all of these other things, comes out to about 9.1%. Number 9. Louisville, Kentucky. Louisville is not a city that I expected to make the cut for this list, mainly because I have a friend from Louisville, and I remember visiting the city about 5 years ago and her telling me all about the city's big financial problems and debt issues, but I mean, it's a city in the United States, so what's new there? But apparently the economy has turned around as Louisville is becoming, it's booming and it's commanding very strong rental rates in comparison to the affordability of the housing. It is home to the Kentucky Derby and a big portion of the bourbon industry, which generates over $8 billion per year for the city. But it's also becoming more well known for growth in certain industries such as healthcare, manufacturing, as well as in the mining sectors. The median home price in Louisville last year was about $173,000. Property value growth last year was at about 4.1%. Wage growth was at 8%, which is actually pretty high. The median rental price of a property was about $1,150. Unemployment rate was at 3.2%, and the rental yield sat at just about 9.2%. Number 8. Charleston, South Carolina. Charleston is best known for being a historical colonial city, making tourists one of the highest producing industries. Other industries that help drive this area's extremely low unemployment rate are automotive, manufacturing, healthcare, and tech. The median home price in Charleston is about $183,000. The property value growth last year was 4.6%. Wage growth sat at about 4%. The median rental price was right at about $1,400 per month. Unemployment rate was about 1.8%, and the rental yield came out to about 9.6%. Number 7. Jacksonville, Florida. Jacksonville is a city that also made the cut last year, which again used a slightly different criteria to compile the list, so you know that this city covers all its bases. The city currently has one of the top 20 economies in the United States, and its easy access to water and harbors has made it a hub for the US Navy and the third largest military presence in the country. Other industries include healthcare, retail, finance, and insurance. The median home price in Jacksonville is $190,000. Property value growth last year was about 4.1%. Wage growth sat at 3%. The median rental price was about $1,350 per month. Unemployment rate was at 2.8%, and the rental yield came out to about 10.1%. Number 6, Indianapolis, Indiana. Indianapolis has long been known as one of the top places to own real estate and has made many top 10 lists for residential rental markets in the past. It has a highly diversified economy which includes sectors in healthcare, finance, and education. With a strong job market, active sporting events, and an extremely affordable housing market, it's no surprise that Indy continues to make for a fantastic rental property market. The median home price in Indianapolis is right around $148,000. Properties grew by 6.6% in value last year, which is extremely high. Wage growth sat at 3%, the median rental price is $1,075 per month, unemployment rate was right around 2.7%, and the rental yield came out to about 10.3%. Number 5, Cedar Rapids, Iowa. So definitely did not expect to see this one on here. Cedar Rapids has just under 300,000 residents and is best known for its food processing and meatpacking industries, which I guess provide more than enough stable jobs to provide for a safe and lucrative rental market. It's home to some of the world's largest food companies, including General Mills and Quaker Oats. It's also the largest corn processing city in the world, and I guess I'll let you know if I find any more boring facts about it. But needless to say, Cedar Rapids is a fantastic market for owning rentals. The median home price in Cedar Rapids is right around $144,000. Property values grew by 2.1% last year. Wage growth is at about 4%. The median rental price is about $995 per month. Unemployment rate is right around 2.4%, and the rental yield came out to about 10.6%. Number 4, Atlanta, Georgia. So here's another one that I did not put on last year's list and was not expecting to see. Atlanta is the 5th largest metro area in the country and is home to some of the largest companies in the world, including Coca-Cola, Home Depot, UPS, Delta Airlines, and my man Ted Turner with Turner Broadcasting. Although the median home price in Atlanta is higher than the national average at $287,000, the strong job market and higher paying jobs offer some of the highest rental returns in the country. The average property grew by 2.3% last year, the wage growth was at around 2.5%, the median rental price was all the way up at $1,800 per month, the unemployment rate was only at 2.9%, and the rental yield came out to about 10.9%. Number 3, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. So OKC is an up-and-coming city that is surprisingly attracting a lot of millennials, which is interesting because the main source of economic production from the area is the oil industry, and millennials seem to be shying away from that industry. But we're starting to see some growth in the tech and business down there, so more and more management jobs and other positions are becoming more widely available. It's also important to note that the area is home to a few colleges and universities, including the University of Oklahoma, which is in Norman, which is about 30 minutes south of downtown Oklahoma City. And as you may or may not have heard me share in my other videos, college towns tend to make for fantastic rental markets for investors because you can typically command higher rents and there will always be a large population of renters in the area. The median home price in OKC is right around $138,000. Properties grew by about 6.4% last year, which again is very high. Wage growth was about 3%. Median rental prices are about $1,025 per month. The unemployment rate is right around 2.9%, and the rental yield came out to a whopping 11.1%. Number 2, Tampa, Florida. So Tampa was also number 2 on last year's list, which makes it one of the most undisputable best places to buy a rental property in 2020. The greater Tampa Bay area has more than 2.8 million residents, is home to the University of South Florida, and has some of the fastest growing cities in America. Its largest industries include aviation, finance, and marine science, not to mention it's home to multiple sports teams and has a strong tourism market from all the northerners who come to share in the sunshine. The median home price in Tampa is right around $193,000. Property values grew by 5.8% last year, which is a tremendous amount. Wage growth was also at 6%, which is well above the national average. Median rental prices are currently sitting at about $14.25 per month. The unemployment rate's about 3.2%, and the rental yield came out to 11.4%. And number 1, Amarillo, Texas. Alright, so I definitely did not expect this to be a thing. Amarillo, Texas, and it might be pronounced Amarillo, I'm not really sure entirely. Maybe if one of you guys watching this knows for sure, you can drop something down in the comments and tell me if I'm pronouncing it correctly. But this tops our list as the top place to invest in a rental property in 2020. Which kind of irritates me a little bit. I'm not sure exactly why. It's not like I have anything against Texas or anything against Amarillo. Amarillo, who knows how to pronounce it. It's just that last year was Orlando, and I don't know, Orlando just sounded so much sexier and so much cooler to top the list. You know, they got Disney World and all that good stuff. But nothing personal, no disrespect if this is your area. But the important thing that we have to remember is that we can't be romantic when it comes to investing. And if Amarillo is where the deals are at, then by all means, I'm going to take a closer look and I'm going to find out why. So for those of you who aren't aware, Amarillo is a smaller city with just under 200,000 residents on the northern panhandle of Texas. And I didn't even know Texas had a panhandle. I thought that was just a Florida thing, but I guess you learn something new every day. It was originally a quiet ranching city, but saw a massive population surge throughout the 2010s. Jobs are growing in the retail, hospitality, construction, and healthcare sectors, but I'm not really seeing anything mind-blowing as to why Amarillo has become such a great rental market, but let's take a look at the numbers because the numbers don't lie. The median home price in Amarillo is right around $133,000. Property values grew by 2.6% last year. Wage growth sits at about 5%. The median rental price is about $1,195 per month. The unemployment rate's about 2.4%, and the rental yield came out to a whopping 13.3%. So obviously, Amarillo, great place to invest in a rental property in 2020. So there you have it, guys. Those are your top 10 cities to invest in a rental property here in 2020. If you enjoyed this video and you found it helpful, it would mean the world to me if you could hit that like button down below. It would really help me as I'm trying to grow this channel and grow my audience. And of course, if you want to see more cool content like this, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below. I would love to have you join the community. And any comments and questions, of course, drop a comment down below. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.